Hello guys, Polycraze here, back with another video about games, and today we are going to talk about one of the most controversial missions in video game history that belongs to the Call of Duty franchise. But before we get into this, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. That would be the best support you can get me. As you know, recently the new installment of Call of Duty franchise just released and gamers really loved it. They loved everything that there is about this game. And I'm not only talking about the multiplayer stuff, but the campaign itself was a banger. The campaign involved some of the familiar characters that we truly missed. Characters such as Simon Ghost Riley, John Soap McTavish, and to name a character that we didn't miss much, General Shepard. This story was different from what we had in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 back in 2009. But it shared a lot of similar elements to the narrative. But we are not here to talk about the new Call of Duty. We are going to talk about the original one that released in 2009, and to be more precise, we are going to talk about one of the missions in the game.
Remember, no Russian.
Ringing any bell? No Russian is a mission in the popular video game Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It has received much criticism and controversy for its typification of a mass shooting at a Moscow airport. However, it is also a prime example of how art and media can challenge our moral beliefs and force us to confront difficult issues. In this mission, the player takes on the role of an undercover CIA agent who must blend in with a group of terrorists and participate in the mass shooting. The mission is optional and the player has the choice to simply observe and not engage in the violence. Despite its disturbing subject matter, No Russian serves as a powerful commentary on the impact of violence and terrorism. It forces the player to confront the reality of the actions they are participating and the consequences of their choices. The mission also highlights the subjective nature of morality, as the player must question their own values and beliefs as they engage in the simulated violence. Furthermore, No Russian serves as a reminder that video games, like all forms of media, have the power to shape our perspective and challenge our assumptions. As a form of interactive media, video games have the unique ability to immerse the player in a virtual world and evoke strong emotions and reactions. No Russian may be a controversial and unsettling mission, but it is also a testament to the power of art and media to challenge our beliefs and force us to confront difficult issues. By forcing the player to question their own morality, it serves as a reminder of the impact that media can have on our thoughts and perceptions. The mission's impact was felt beyond the gaming world, as it prompted discussions about the ethics of depicting violence in entertainment. Some argued that the mission was a form of artistic expression, while others felt that it was insensitive and gratuitous. The controversy surrounding No Russian helped to define the limits of what was acceptable in video games and sparked a wider debate about the impact of violent media on society. Additionally, No Russian was a significant moment in the evolution of video game storytelling. The mission's use of choice challenged traditional notion of linear storytelling in shooter games and paved the way for future shooter games to offer more players choice and non-linear narratives. The value or effectiveness of the No Russian mission in the video game Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is subjective and open to interpretation. Some players enjoy the mission's controversial storytelling and intense gameplay, while others find it distasteful or offensive. Ultimately, whether No Russian is a good mission or not is up to individual player preferences and opinions. But why are we talking about this matter now? Too many years has passed by and even the reboot of the series got its second episode now. So why are we talking about it? That's where it gets interesting. Let's get back to the latest installment of Call of Duty that released recently. The final moments of the game narrative made some interesting references to one of the best Call of Duty antagonists of all time, Vladimir Makarov. This son of a bitch could pull off a World War III if he wants to. Because of this reference, it's safe to say that the next installment of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare series could bring Makarov back to the series, and this is absolutely good news. Vladimir Makarov is considered one of the best antagonists in Call of Duty due to several reasons. Number 1, charismatic personality. Makarov is portrayed as a charismatic, intelligent, and ruthless villain, which made him very likable to the players. Number 2. Clear motivations. Makarov's motivation for his actions are clearly defined and make sense within the context of the story, making him a believable and relatable antagonist. Number 3. Iconic quotes. Makarov has several iconic quotes that are remembered by the players, which further added to his charisma and notoriety. Number 4. Effective storytelling. The storyline and presentation of Makarov in the game was well crafted, effectively conveying his character and making players invested in his actions. And number 5. Personal involvement. Makarov is personally involved in the events of the story, making players feel a connection to him. He's not like the other antagonists that sits back and do nothing and order their men to do their dirty work. That is exactly how No Russian Mission happened. The first Makarov encounter that player have is in the mission when he opens his mouth and says those 3 legendary words.
Remember, no Russian.
Remember, no Russian. And then he takes his gun out and starts shooting at innocent and unarmed people from his own country. For those of you who didn't play this game and this particular mission, what are you doing with your life, man? But some of you may not be old enough to play this game, which is fair, I get it. Vladimir Makarov says, "Remember no Russian," to remind his men not to speak in Russian, in order to make the massacre at the airport appear to be carried out by American soldiers. This line helps to establish Makarov's cunning and strategic mindset, as he is trying to create a false flag attack to frame the US and start a war between the two nations. The line since become one of the most memorable quotes in the Call of Duty franchise. Genius, right? But here is the main question. If Makarov is going to be in the next installment of the Modern Warfare series, are they going to recreate the No Russian mission? This is a hard question to answer, and the answer has some paradox to it, because there were a lot of criticism about the mission in the first place, and even some countries asked Activision to delete out the whole mission from the game. They didn't want the game to have the mission on board. But they didn't do it, and as a result, the campaign story of this game was banned in some countries, and as you can guess, one of the countries was Russia, which is fair enough. Developers and publishers of the game didn't really care about the criticism, and they kept this amazing mission in the game. So I don't think that they feel any insecurity of this mission to be recreated again in the Modern Warfare 3. But this one brings some challenges. As No Russian is a memorable mission, nobody wants to experience the cheap version of it, and if they're going to do it again, they should do it in the most perfect way. The first time they did it, it was so perfect that even if you watch the mission on a YouTube video, you still get goosebumps. But recreating the exact mission on the next installment is not likely to happen, because Infinity Ward already shows us that they will change so much, and reboots are going to have some different storylines, characters, and plot twists. But at the same time, bringing back the Makarov equals the return of No Russian, because that mission was a good start for the new antagonist which we all love. But are they going to do it? Maybe, maybe not, who knows. But I really hope they don't recreate it again exactly like the original one, because some things should stay untouched, but they can change it and bring on the No Russian version 2, which would be the perfect scenario for the return of the most violent, brutal, and controversial mission in Call of Duty history. In conclusion, No Russian was a revolutionary moment in the world of video games, as it pushed boundaries, sparked a conversation about the role of violence in entertainment, and set a new standard for player choice in video game storytelling. Although controversial, the mission's impact is undeniable, and its legacy continues to shape the future of the industry to this day. Thanks for sticking up, leave a like and comment for this video, and don't forget that your subscription is your biggest support. See you later, guys.